Okay, I just got out of the shower and I had an epiphany in the shower, as one does. And I've decided I am ready to get hurt again. So if you watched my TikTok videos, you saw my post about biting off more than I could chew and the whole felt pennant disaster. I agreed to do felt pennants for the Cricut Adventure Conference, and it was a disaster and a half. And so I ended up doing tumblers. They ended up being great. I'm really happy that I did the tumblers, but the felt pennants made me want to cry. And in the process, I learned a lot about working with felt with your Cricut. So I've decided, let's work with some felt today. I'm ready to get hurt again. We're gonna make some felt lavender. This time I think I have the right materials and the right mindset. Yeah, I have the right mindset. We're good. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be great. We're gonna do it together. We're gonna learn how to work with felt. We're gonna make felt lavender. You're gonna need a couple things for this project. You're gonna need flower wire, floral wire. You're gonna need felt with a good amount of wool content. This is a good amount of wool content. You can find it on Amazon. It's a little more expensive. Don't get the cheap felt. Don't do it. Unless you wanna cry, don't do it. Get good wool content in your felt. It's really important. I'm gonna use purple because we're doing lavender. You're gonna need some scissors. You're gonna need a rotary blade on your Cricut, and you're gonna need a strong grip or fabric grip cutting mat. I think that's everything. Let's try it. I'm kind of working between two offices right now because I'm moving into, ooh, that made me dizzy, probably made you dizzy. So I'm moving downstairs to our laundry room, moving downstairs to our dining room to be my new cricketing space. So I have to come up here to the old office and find everything I need. Okay. Let's make sure I got the right color. So I got the succulent colors in this OTR felt. I will link it in my Amazon storefront as like a project, so that way you can shop the whole project. Like I said, it's a little more expensive, but it's gonna be worth it because the wool count in this felt is more. So it's gonna cut easier, it's not gonna fray, it's not gonna bend. And that's the thing about that cheap felt, is like when you're cutting with cheap felt, it will fray and rip and it'll become like see-through in certain spots. It doesn't cut evenly, it doesn't weed well. Parts of it don't cut all the way through and parts of it cut kind of too far through. This is gonna save us. It looks like I do have some good lavendery colors here. I might do like kind of a variety of colors. Like I think I'm gonna use this like really lavendery piece. I might need some green like for leaves. I haven't looked at the project yet. I'm gonna pull this green just in case. And I'm also gonna pull this light green just in case. Then I'm gonna grab one more color of purple, just so we have some options to give it a little bit of dimension, which I think will be nice. So I kind of like this more grape color here. We're gonna pull this grape. So kind of we've got this. Let me show you what we have here. Okay, so now we've got kind of two colors of green and two colors of purple for a nice dimensional project. So now let's pull up our project in Cricut Design Space and I will show you what we're doing. Okay, here's the project that I found in Cricut Design Space that I really want to try. So it says that it's gonna take less than 30 minutes and it's easy. So that means hopefully no crying. Okay, so it has all the project materials here. We kind of already went over them, but I did miss a couple. So let's go over it really fast. We're gonna need felt in a lavender shade and felt in a green shade. We already have that. We're gonna need a fabric grip machine mat. I'm using an HTV Ront machine mat. I love that brand. FYI, I'll put it in my Amazon storefront. It's pink for the fabric grip. You're gonna need a rotary blade. This is the one I forgot. We're gonna need a hot glue gun. That makes sense. So we're gonna need a hot glue gun and glue sticks. We're gonna need floral stem wire, and we're gonna need wire cutters. I don't have wire cutters, so I'm gonna hope that I can cut it with scissors. And we're gonna find out together along the way whether that's possible. Okay, so let's click make it. I'm not even gonna customize. We're just gonna make it. Dun, dun, dun. And Cricut Access is gonna walk us through the steps. I'm also gonna plug in my Cricut really quick because I'm gonna go ahead and cut straight from my computer, which means I need to plug in my USB here. All right. Okay, we are plugged in. Oh, okay. So we've got two mats here. We've got our first mat that's gonna be probably the leaves, I guess. And then our second mat is gonna be the actual lavender. So This seems simple enough. I'm gonna click continue. They did say easy, so yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to browse all materials. I'm gonna say we're doing this with felts. Okay, there we go. We're gonna use felt wool bonded because that is what we are using. I'm gonna go ahead and do more pressure just because I'm anticipating that might be needed. And I'm gonna do remember material settings. And now it's time to load it up. So let's see how it goes. Before we load that mat into our Cricut, let's chat really quickly about the Rotary blade, because it's a special blade that you can get for the Cricut Maker that's gonna help you cut bonded fabrics like felt, which is what we're using today. So this is what your Rotary blade looks like. It's so cute. It comes in this little plastic housing. So before we start, we're just gonna pop it off. And then this little plastic piece right here is actually gonna stay on the blade while we're putting it into our Cricut. And we're just gonna load it in with that plastic cap facing out, and we are gonna be ready to cut this fabric. Keep in mind that its blade is like a wheel, not like a normal blade that you see on a Cricut. So a little bit different. It's gonna do a better job for us today than a normal fine point blade. Okay, so now that the safety cap is off of our blade, we're ready to go ahead and put it in our Cricut. So you're just gonna pop open this little clamp right here, get the blade out that's in there right now. I like to store mine right here. And then you're just gonna settle the new one into the housing, plastic part facing out, clamp it, back in. It's as easy as that. All right, now we're just going to flip it over and peel the felt away from the mat. Woo! How cute is that? Our little perfectly cut leaves, we're gonna set them off to the side. We're gonna have to wash this mat later. It's leaving a little bit of green behind. Once we get all of our little leaves, we're then gonna go ahead and load up our purple for layer number 2. Okay, this one cut a little bit messy, but I have faith that it's still gonna be just fine. We're gonna slowly peel away our felt. We're gonna pick off the little ones that didn't quite let go here. We'll trim them up with our scissors in a second so that they've got nice clean edges. I think that's all of them. Okay, now let's just get these little in-between pieces out. The thing about felt is it's just so cute. Oh, I got a package. The thing about felt is it's just so cute. Like, you just want to work with it. You want it to be cooperative, because how adorable is it to make things out of felt? So you can see, I'll show you, there's like little spots down at the bottom here that are gonna need a little bit of trimming up. That shouldn't be an issue. We'll be able to do that with our scissors. Right now I'm just kind of picking out all these little in-between pieces. I do like that felt doesn't require any weeding. Sometimes it's nice to do something a little bit different. And also, as you're pulling your felt up, just keep in mind, if you wanted it perfect, you would have bought it that way. The process is just as fun as the product. Okay, it's time to assemble. This is where you're gonna need your hot glue gun, glue sticks, scissors, preferably wire cutters if you have them, and then your floral wire. My daughter decided to bend this one, so we're not gonna use that one. We're gonna use a nice straight one. This is my handy dandy battery operated glue gun. I love it. While that heats up, let's talk through what we're gonna do here. So we are going to take our floral wire, and then at the top, we're just gonna wrap our little lavender around the base like that and glue it. That is all we're gonna do. And we're just gonna repeat that all the way down this piece of floral wire. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a few of them that I wanna use for this one. I'm gonna make sure none of it needs trimming, because some of those had some little fuzzies that they needed trimmed off, like this one. Go ahead and trim those, just so you don't have any frayed ends when you apply it. And then we're gonna apply the leaves at the end. So this project makes 3 stems of lavender, because we have 2 leaves for each stem. And we have a total here of 6 leaves. So let's split up our lavender too into enough for 3. I'm doing 7 lavender pieces for each, and then I'm gonna split up the rest here. So 8, 9. So we can do 9 lavender bits on each stem here. I also have this little silicone finger cap that came with my hot glue gun that I use to pat down what I've just glued, and it prevents me from burning my fingers. We'll see how it does. Okay, our glue gun is green, so that means we are ready to rock. I'm not gonna use the thumb one because I'm a rebel and I like to live life on the edge. Okay, we're gonna put a tiny dot of glue here on the end. We are going to secure it. And then we are just gonna wrap our piece of felt all the way around, leaving the little tip right there. We're about to glue it down there at the end. Just creating a tiny little wrap and then pressing it down. And I'm just fraying it out a bit. There's our first one done. And now we're just going to work our way down the stem. I'm not gonna use this actually. All right, then once we finish all of them, we can go back in and trim the little frayed parts. So no worries about that. Let's just continue working our way down. Tiny dot of glue. We have 9 of these to go. Don't want to leave too much space between them. Wrapping, wrapping, wrapping. And then when we get to the very end, just putting another dot of glue. Trying not to burn your own finger, just gently pressing it down. And then pressing for a second till it's all solidified on there. And then I'm just gonna fray, or kind of flip out my, there we go, we got 2 done. We're gonna continue here. The hardest part is getting your wrap started, because if your glue hasn't like really held on yet, it can be a little challenging there. I just glued my own finger. Ow, ow, ow. Voila. I'm just gonna flip it out there. And again, we can clean this up at the end. Just pulling away all that excess glue. Flipping out my little petals here. Love. Okay, that looks so much better. We're just gonna continue working our way down our floral stem here until we've done all 9. So we're just gonna repeat this process all the way down. I'm gonna go ahead and pause, and I'm gonna come back when I've got all of them on here. Now we're gonna come in with these leaves. We're just gonna put them kind of right here so they hold up on the sides and create a little lavender effect. So I'm gonna put a little line of glue kind of high up. I'm gonna drop a little line of glue, not just a dot, because I don't want it to flop over a ton. And then I'm just gonna line it up right there where I want it and kind of snug it around my floral wire and just hold it there for a second. And then we're about to repeat that again with the other side. So however high up you put the glue is how much bend you're gonna get in this felt right here. So if I had increased it up a little higher, it would have stuck up a little more. It's also kind of nice to maybe like do it a little differently on each side, because flowers aren't perfect. They don't look exactly the same on both sides. So I'm actually gonna do this one up a little bit higher. Okay, now let's do the other side. So I'm gonna drop the glue a little bit higher up this time, just because I want it to be like a little more snug with the flower. So I'm just gonna lay it down a little lower maybe. Make sure it's holding on tight there. And I'm just gonna pinch at the top. Just holding everything together here. I pull away some of this excess glue while I'm at it. See, they're not perfectly even, but I actually prefer it that way, because whenever is a flower perfectly even? And there we go. There's our lavender. So now we can cut off what we don't want to use here at the bottom and put it in whatever vessel we're gonna hold it in. But first, let's make the other 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat this process again on my other 2 lavenders, and then I'll be back. There's not many like sensory things that bother me, but one that does bother me is the feeling of little hot glue strings all over my hands while I'm trying to finish a project. I have 2 more leaves to put on, and I'm currently fighting that horrible feeling with everything inside of me. Probably rushing a little more than normal because it's so annoying. I did find on this second one that kind of laying them flat and just pressing them against each other instead of wrapping them gives it a little bit better result. Like, I like that a little bit better. So I'm gonna do that on the third one too. Okay, let's try to cut these down a little bit because I want to put them in this little pot. We're gonna try to use my Cricut scissors and cut them. We'll see if it works. I'm a little nervous, but. Okay. I don't know if these are gonna be able to cut through it. These are not gonna do it. You're gonna definitely need wire cutters, but you know what I'm gonna do instead? I'm just gonna fold them. So I'm gonna create like an S shape so that it will sit in my little pot. And now I'm gonna get something to fill the additional space so they don't go all wonky. Hold on. Okay, so instead of cutting my wire, I just bent it into this little S shape here so that it will sit in the vessel that I have found for it, which I got this at the Target dollar spot. I'm just gonna make it a little wider and I'm just gonna shove it down in there. And I'm gonna use the boot to kind of hold it a little bit right. And voila! Okay, so there you go. Quick, beginner-friendly felt project. I officially conquered felt and I didn't cry. Happy crafting, everyone.